Hey friends, Ari Koinuma here. Thanks for checking in. So today I'm reporting for duty from my living room couch. I meant to make a different video for this Thursday, but I got a little conked out today, and I was like, hey, but it kind of relates to what I wanted to say anyway. So I thought I'll just show up anyway and tell you what's going on. So, as some of you know, I moved out about a year ago on my own, and since then have been on a journey to sort of do a course correction. I went through what I would call a midlife crisis. My life was going this way, and I was like, no, 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 that's not what I intended to go. I need to go this way, and the course correction means like really looking. Taking a hard look at what I am and all my baggages, lots of therapy, and doing the inner work necessary to do the course correction. Because the course going the wrong way is not because I was not paying attention or I was being sort of a, how should I say, misguided in some ways. Well, in many ways I was misguided, sure, but not because of lack of some kind of vigilance, but it's just that when you have a lot of baggage inside you, it's hard to make your life go where you intended to go. Your baggage kind of drags you and kind of keeps you kind of skewed, and then you're trying to go straight perhaps, but then you're like lopsided, so you kind of keep going, sort of sideways, right? And then the only way you can try to like use your willpower, but the willpower is a finite thing, so then you can't really make yourself go straight, so it just kind of keeps going this way. And so anyway, this last year I've been working hard on sort of looking at my issues and dealing with them, processing them. And that means that there have been lots of sort of bouts of sudden lethargy, which is what I encountered today. Like halfway through the day, I just my energy level dropped, and like I've been sitting around since then. I've taken a nap and lots of sleeping. Another thing is I have an app on my phone where I keep track of like different things in my life, and I keep track of like how many times I cry. And this month I cried 9 times, and today is the 21st, so that's about half of the times. But let's see if I have an average here. Yeah, so, well, I don't know if there's an average, but year total, since I started tracking, I counted 98 occasions. And you might think it's a strange thing to share, to say how many times I cried, but I am sharing this because like people look at crying as an undesirable thing, like, oh, I shouldn't be crying, or I shouldn't have to cry, or it's a bad thing if if my life is going in such a way that I have to cry about it. Yes, well, crying is not exactly a pleasant experience, I agree, but I learned to look at crying as a way to say, oh, I'm processing something, right? Crying is a phenomenon that occurs when you are finally coming to face with whatever the feeling that you are having, and a lot of times it's like whatever is triggered from whatever just happened in your life, plus a little bit of what you're having inside, what you've been carrying inside. So earlier in life, things upset you, or things upset you is a kind of casual, even doesn't do it justice, but some really terribly uncomfortable feelings happened, and you could not process all the feelings then, so you stored it in your body, and but then since that time, every time you encounter a similar situation, you get that sort of feeling gets triggered, and it's your baggage way of saying, hey, I'm here, I need you to come visit me and spend time with me so I can get resolved, right? And crying is a way to do that. So in, I really believe that the road to go up, the path to more content and fulfilling, joyful life is through just crying as often as you can, which is a strange thing to say. But I can tell you that, I mean, this last year has been just one thing after another of discovering, oh, I have these feelings stuck in me. Oh, I am get triggered with that kind of feelings. Oh, I stumbled again because of this past memory or story that needed to be resolved. That sort of thing. And so I'm sure our therapist friends will tell us, if you're doing this, I mean, that's what inner work looks like, is a lot of sleeping, a lot of just laying around, a lot of crying. And you might think that that's terrible and that's bad, but actually, if you can't do that without saying, oh, I really shouldn't be this way, I feel awful and I feel victimized, and I need to develop some kind of coping mechanism to prevent this from happening, right? Actually doing that is sort of your way to go up eventually. And I feel really different from how I felt a year ago now, and I'm really excited about it. So anytime that I feel lethargic or I feel like crying or I need to sleep, I try to do that as much as I can. So what happened this week or this last few weeks is that I've been feeling a lot of ebb and flow or high up and down in terms of my energy level, and my mood too. I think as a highly sensitive person, you tend to sort of just have dramatic range of mood, and as I'm becoming more in touch with myself, I'm feeling the full extent of my feelings. Again, that's something I'm coming to terms with, and I can accept it. That's not a problem to me anymore. But I think that there are still some expectations in terms of productivities and putting up brave front and staying functional and taking care of, like, my kids and stuff like that, that where I'm like, no, I can't rest, I can't take it easy, I need to be up. And it's always a balancing act between that impulse and going, no, it's all right, just allow yourself, right? Take it easy. You feel the way you do for a reason, and the way to eventually stop feeling that way is by feeling whatever you're feeling now. I know it's counterintuitive, but the way out or the way up is through. You go through your difficult feelings and you come out on the other side. So when you're not crying, again, lethargy or lack of energy is also another sort of a kind of a physical sensation, right? Um, the important thing is that since we store these excess feelings that we could not feel earlier in life, sort of stuck in our body, the best thing you can do is to at least spend some time just laying quietly, close your eyes, breathe steadily, and then sort of pay attention to sensation in your body. Like right now, I can tell you as I'm sharing this, like I feel this kind of energy in my chest area, kind of like something is like oozing, kind of. I can kind of visualize this like a smoke or some goo that's coming out of some container and just kind of slowly just flowing out. It just yeah. I wanna. This gesture is how I can kind of visualize this sensation. But other times, for example, in my experience, like anger feels like a burning sensation. I felt like a burning sensation in my lower back. Fear feels like a dread or nauseating feeling. I might have felt that in my abdomen area. I've felt other things like a tight ball, like a ball of lead in my torso, that sort of things, or electricity, kind of like zip kind of thing, or I felt nervousness and kind of zzz kind of feeling in my head. It's all, I mean, I'm making light of this. It's not fun. Don't get me wrong, but if you kind of accept it, it's kind of fascinating, interesting to see how different emotions stored in your system kind of show up as a different sensation, physical sensation, and how you can process it is to, instead of sort of distracting yourself with whatever else that you can look at or listen to or whatever, just spend at least some time just sitting or laying quietly and pay attention to that sensation. Just kind of tune into that sensation. And if it becomes really unbearable to just sit and do that, then it's okay. Once you kind of tune in and experience it and like consciously, that kind of sets the motion going in my experience. So that afterwards, if you do that as much as you can, but then if it becomes unbearable or too uncomfortable, you can totally distract yourself, watch a movie, listen to music, that sort of thing. And your body will still do the work in time. But just tuning into the bodily sensation is really important, and it kind of helps sort of set the ball in motion for you to process that baggage that you've been carrying. So, as you can tell, although I am low energy today and I spent half a day sort of resting on my couch, I am not in bad mood by any means. And really, I'm not here to look for your sympathy. In fact, there are plenty of other people who need it more than I do. I wanted to just sort of show up and kind of show to those of you who might not be familiar with this process what inner work might look like in real life, so that if you notice yourself, having the need to cry or take it easy, then you can hopefully allow that. I realize that not everybody is in a fortunate enough situation to be able to freely allow that as I am able to, and my heart goes out to you if that's the case. But in some ways, this is an ideal. I feel like that I have this personal, private, safe place in which I can just lay low without a lot of outside. I mean, I obviously I can still do my job. I can still be there for my kids. It's not like I'm incapacitated. And sometimes in life, when the situation kind of piles up, you might even get incapacitated. Again, saying that you shouldn't be or you can't be is not going to be contribute to your health. Although obviously sometimes, yes, you have responsibilities. You're not in a position to allow this kind of sort of recovery time and space. But if you can, that will be ideal, and that will contribute toward sort of getting better for good faster in the long run. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions or comments, but otherwise I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.